Okay, so tonight we're at PAI Honolulu, and it's a special night because we have Chef Brian Hirata in the house. He started Naau, Hawaii, which is a very unique, very forward, progressive food concept because he takes and harvests local ingredients. What he does takes a lot of work because he's like a hunter-gatherer chef.
And the good thing about what Brian's trying to do is, he's trying to educate not only the students, but culinarians in terms of chefs as well as foodies as ourselves about what types of ingredients are available in Hawaii. I mean, it's easy to make a fantastic meal with truffles and caviar and all these other noble ingredients which you obviously can import or fly in from someplace else. But a lot of chefs don't even know these ingredients exist in our backyard. There's some of these ingredients.
Like forage sorrel and all this kind of stuff that we don't even know is edible or don't recognize as food because it just goes wild on the side of the roads.
But I think it's important for the students and even for us to know what's available in Hawaii, what the freshest ingredients are, and how amazing they can be incorporated into a dish or a meal. And I really appreciate and applaud Brian for doing that. It educated me. I mean, half the time when you think of fern, you think of maybe just one type of fern, but apparently there's several he uses. There's other sea creatures I've never heard of that we have that are living right here on the islands, and they make wonderful, wonderful proteins.
Like we had a dinner with him on the Big Island, and he served some sand crabs, and who even thinks of that as food?
Right. That's pretty amazing stuff. So we're looking forward to this meal, and of course, PAI Honolulu never disappoints. They've got some really fun, cool concepts and very well cerebral cuisine. And now there's two meeting of the minds again coming together for a third time.
Yeah, I think it's a great partnership.
I believe so too. So I'm excited. We just had our first course, which is like a chilled Samoan crab course,
which was by Kevin from PAI,
and a wonderful cornbread with this sweet miso honey butter. And how can you go wrong with that? And now our second course is arriving, which is, I think, from Chef Brian. And you see more green on that, but what it basically is, it's a tofu salad. So you're gonna get, and it's in quotes, tofu, unquote. It's a soy milk custard, smoked akule, bean sprout namur.
So here we have the chef, and he's gonna describe the dish.
Okay.
So here we have a plate off of our beloved potluck dish, tofu salad.
Yeah.
On the bottom of this tofu salad is fresh organic soybeans. I press it and then turn it into a custard to mimic the texture of tofu.
Okay.
The fish on top is akule, which Chef Ernie Gray and I caught down at South Point. It's hot smoked. And accompanying it is Mountain Dew watercress, pickled moyashi or pickled bean sprouts, and dehydrated tomatoes and soy vinegar.
Nice. Perfect.
So do you get tired of like fishing for your own ingredients and foraging?
No, I never get tired of that.
Because you have to wake up early in the morning or go out at night and stuff, right?
Yeah, lots of work.
That's crazy.
So how does this toasted goma dress? Is a soy vinaigrette and a toasted goma dressing that kind of play together?
Yeah, the vinegar, or the vinegar, I call it a vinaigrette, but it's the dressing. And I really like the nuttiness of the toasted goma with it.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives that flavor profile. Slightly nutty, slightly acid.
Okay.
To kind of cut through the richness of the custard.
And tomatoes? Tomatoes are just dehydrated, nothing else, no compression,
No compression, just bland, peeled, dehydrated.
Okay.
And these come from Wow Farm.
Whole farms, okay. Sounds good. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna start by digging into the custard. Wow, that's good. Is there egg in the custard?
It's soy. So it's soybeans that he's basically extracted.
But it's so rich.
But it
tastes
gives it a
really eggy.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
There's a real nuttiness that's balanced by some salt from the soy and
Smoked fish, so good. Wow.
the hot smoked opelu, just so powerful. It's a really great, another salt and smoke counterpoint to this whole dish.
When you eat his food, you're really tasting the land. It's like it just brings everything to life. It's so good.
The bean smells are so crisp. And the very fresh. The flavor is so vibrant, and every component really contributes to this dish. From texture, to balancing the flavors.
This is really like Hawaii regional cuisine, like 2.0.
It is. I mean, it takes that common, like you said, potluck party kind of salad, that tofu salad that we're so familiar with, and you've got all those flavors in there. You got that soy vinaigrette, you got that watercress, it's like stringency, the bitterness, the vegetable quality, the bean sprouts, kind of the water, and that crisp, and of course the tofu. But this is a richer tofu. This, wow.
It's really so elegant. It just takes it to the next level. Yummy. We're back with the next course, which is an arancini.
Made with soft egg and nuja and goat cheese. So apparently they make a risotto where they incorporate goat cheese from local goat cheese from Sweetland Farms, as well as a house-made nuja, which they have fermented for 9 months, and they use pono pork. So again, local ingredients, and that's been all cooked down with arborio, and then it's been constituted into a ball, which they basically panko fry, deep fried, and they put it over this amazing mentaiko mousse, which is like a whipped tomato, but a smoked mentaiko that's been folded into it. So I can't wait to try that because I love mentaiko. And that and the egg just kind of oozes out when you cut it open. So
Couldn't wait to dig in. Creamy. And lighter than what you would think, but very airy and not all that fishy in spite of the mentaiko.
I can't see the risotto actually. So far all I see is egg.
Yeah, I only see egg.
So let's see. I want to dig into this. Yeah, I don't see the risotto.
There's no egg. I mean rice.
Where's the risotto? Oh, it's around the edges of the. Like, is it? Maybe.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Let's see.
Stop working. Sit down.
I know. The potato's a winner.
So good. And this is one of Kevin Lee's dishes.
This is like a breakfast dish.
Yeah.
Gonna have this with a side of bacon.
It's very good. I would eat this in the morning.
Me too. Breakfast of champions.
Yeah. Perfect start.
Pork inside of it is house-made local bacon, and sticking with the Kohala mountain theme, I knew that the top road of Kohala had wild fennel, so of course we have the wild fennel on top.
Oh wow.
And if you never had green fennel seeds before, it's kind of like having green coriander, where it's like it just slaps you in the face. So it's those little green dots.
Oh, okay.
So wait, the little green what?
The little green dots is green fennel seeds.
Oh, green fennel seeds. Oh my gosh.
So it's kind of like licorice on steroids.
Nice.
One day when I grow up,
Let's try that. Oh, the fennel is like licorice on steroids. So let's give it a shot.
Yeah. And so excited. But I'm quite full already.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, the smokiness.
So earthy.
Look, you get that.
Oh, I got the fennel.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it really
wow.
is. It's really licoricey.
That's crazy.
That little seed, the little green fennel seed, packs such a punch.
But not
wonderful.
but not in a bad way. I think even if you don't like licorice that much, you can appreciate the flavor.
And the flour keeps it high. Oh my gosh, it's almost minty. It's sweet and very minty. Try that flour on the side there. Wow. I never knew. Local fennel.
It's a little bit bitter aftertaste, but
It's almost like absinthe.
otherwise, it doesn't like hit you in the face like a seed.
This is very good.
And the pork is just for an accent. The main thing is the taco.
Which is really roasted and tender. This is an excellent dish.
And the amount of pasta isn't overwhelming. Because you know how I don't appreciate too much carbs? Because usually it's just useless sugar. So this is just the right amount of pasta.
I love carbs. The octopus has a little bit of charred funk to it. It's almost gamey, but in a kind of pleasant way. And that fennel just puts it all back into balance.
It's so good. Another entree. Oh. Yeah, full. I had to undo one of the notches on my belt. And this like entree is kind of huge considering the number of courses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a pan-roasted kampachi. Call it kampachi, but they use whole fish, so you've got the skin, the little skin, and like a chippy, like a crispy chip version. Then you've got that roasted fish right underneath it, and it's nestled above a taro gratin. So nice, it must be cheesy. You got a little bit of this taro leaf puree. And underneath is a beurre rouge, which is normally a red butter sauce, incorporating, of course, red wine and a Burgundian wine. But in this particular case, they use also hibiscus. So you get a little bit of that kind of cranberry floral note, I'm guessing.
And fish bone broth.
Yeah, fish bone stock that's incorporated to that. Sounds pretty rich. Of course, all that butter. And then, of course, they even have a little bit of what they call fire water. Was it smoked fire water, which really is chili pepper water.
Yeah.
As to most
Which
local
makes in-house and
similarities.
it's really good if you can get your hands on some.
Yeah, but you can see the salt on top of that skin that looks like,
Yeah,
I'm ready for this. Okay.
They're gonna take a bite out of the fish
Yeah,
chip.
let's do that. Let's see how that works. Oh,
Very nice.
crispy.
Yummy. It fits perfectly on the edge here. So I'm gonna leave that down here and try the rest of the dish.
And the fish is very moist, very tender. It flakes apart beautifully, and yet it retains that, the oiliness of the kampachi.
And I'm gonna get some of that hibiscus sauce.
You get a lot of that fruit come through in the beurre rouge.
Oh yeah, it's really nice.
A lot of fruit.
Buttery rich, but that fruity floral. It's really
This
beautiful.
is second time this week I'm actually having fish with beurre rouge.
Wow, it should be a thing because it's so good.
Yep. Get a little bit of heat, and the wine certainly still retains that kind of a little bit of the alcoholic tone.
And I love
Taro gratin.
I love the taro.
It's not your typical like potato gratin. It's normally more tender and creamy. In this case, there's a little bit of a chew to it. We get a sweet note of the taro and a wonderful cheese in the exterior. What a wonderful compliment.
Pretty amazing. And the taro, of course, is healthier for you than potato.
The chip. Super crispy.
I can't get over this sauce. It's so good.
It's a nice rouge because of that sweet, fruity, very berried note.
And that luau. Awesome.
It helps kind of temper that fruitiness by adding that slightly astringent vegetable note. Wow. Yummy. Well, I'm tired of talking. I'm going to eat, so have fun.
Either way, both work really well with the fish. It's really good. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello, Barry. Okay,
And
so
the reason we're saying hello to our berries is because there are hello berries from the Big Island.
hello.
We have orange, yellow, and red on this cheesecake with shiso, also from the 6,000 elevation, same as the berries.
So the red berries you obviously saw were turned into a compote, but what you didn't see are the yellow and orange berries, which for some reason I didn't know there were all those colors. But they were incorporated into
a gel.
into the gelée, the little gel there. And so this micro shiso, it seems, really helps add that lemony, citrusy note, which seems to give the impression it will cut the fat of this cheesecake. So we shall find out how true that is. I figured the ohelo berry is going to have a tart anyway, which will probably, the acidity alone will probably be a very good balancing factor. But
Very nice. I don't care about the fat because it's delicious.
nice kind of graham cracker crust, which is very comforting, very familiar. Nothing fancy, but it's good.
It is so good. So yummy. And somebody in this room is having a birthday because I can smell the candle. So we're going to finish dessert. Happy you could join us again this week. Thank you.
Take care. Cheers.
Bye.